Alright, this video is going to talk about Pemdas. Pemdas, also known as the order of operations, is extremely important when you're solving equations. Parentheses, exponents, multiply or divide, add or subtract. There's 6 letters in Pemdas. Some of you might remember it as "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally" or something other like that. I think it's easier to remember a 2-syllable word, Pemdas. There's actually only 4 steps. Parentheses, exponents, multiply or divide, add or subtract. And we're going to talk about what that means in half a second. Let's take a look at the first Pemdas problem. Okay, we have this problem here. Pemdas requires showing a lot of work. That doesn't mean it's very complex, you just have to take it one step at a time. So the first thing we're going to look for is we're going to look for any parentheses. No parentheses in here, so we're going to move on to the next step. Exponents. Let's look for exponents. No exponents in here, so let's go ahead on to the next step. Multiply or divide. Now, if division comes first, we're going to do division first. If multiplication comes first, we're going to do multiplication first. And when I say first, I mean you're going to read this equation just like you're reading in a book. So you're going to look for the first multiplication or division sign that you see, and here it is at 4 times 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 4 times 8 first. 8 and 8 is 16. 16, 16 is 32. I'm going to cross this off so that I know I'm done with it. And I'm crossing it off because I have to copy down all the other numbers from the problem before I can do the next step. So I'm going to copy down 5 plus. We already did 4 times 8, so we're going to skip that. Copy down divide 2 minus 6. Now I'm going to go on to the next step, which is still a multiplication division. We haven't ruled everything out yet, so let's go ahead and look through. No, oh, here's a division sign, so now we're going to do the division. 32 divided by 2 is 16. Now I'm going to copy down everything I haven't touched yet. Some people may copy it down off to the side right here so that it looks nicer. Either way works. Now we're done with multiplication division, we're moving on to addition or subtraction. So let's look and see if any subtraction or addition comes up. Oh look, an addition problem. 5 plus 16 is 21. I'm going to copy down the rest, and I forgot to switch colors, my apologies. I'm sure you'll figure it out. 21 minus 6, which is the last thing there, is going to be 15. 15 is the answer to this problem. If you just do 5 plus 4 and then times 8 and then divided by 2 and then minus 6, you will get to the wrong answer. Some people think about this work as a pizza or a nacho chip or an upside down pyramid, but showing your work this way is not only the right way to do it, it's also the way to make sure that you have shown all your work and that you don't get all tangled up on what did I already do, what didn't I do, all of that. So you will find that I insist that you show your work at every step when you're completing a Pemdas problem. Let's go ahead on to another one. Let's look at this problem. Same problem. Remember last time that we had the answer of 15. The only thing different in this problem is that I've added parentheses around the 5 plus 4. It actually is a plus. I realize it doesn't look like it because of the camera angle. Let's see if we can fix that. Much better. Alright. So let's take a look and see if we get the same answer 15 when we throw in these parentheses. Now we have 5 plus 4. Because it's in parentheses and parentheses comes first, that's the very first thing we're going to do. 5 plus 4 is 9. I've done everything inside the parentheses, so I don't need to copy them down. So even if you do, you'll notice that the 9 is left all alone. We can definitely get rid of these. Now the next step is multiply or divide. Well, the next thing that comes up is multiplication, so let's go ahead and multiply. 9 times 8 is 72. our next step, we're still looking for multiplication or division, and we see a division problem come up. So we're going to do 72 divided by 2. And you know what? Let's double check this answer to make sure, because if we do all the work in our head, it's quite possible that we're going to make some kind of a silly mistake. 2 goes into 7 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. Left with 12. 2 goes into 12 6 times. So we're left with 36 minus 6. 36 minus 6 is 30. So when we add parentheses to this, we've solved this problem the correct way also, because we followed the parentheses. Just adding one set of parentheses can change the answer from 15, where it was in the first problem, to 30 in this problem. And if you would change up another order, that could also very much affect it, which is why it's always important to follow the order of operations, the Pemdas. Let's take a look at exponents. And if you go back to that problem, because I did forget to draw that upside down pyramid, or the pizza, or the nacho chip, you'll see that it was still a triangle. Now we're going to take a look at what happens when there's exponents in here. Exponents comes before subtraction, so we're going to do that first. What I suggest that people do is that they pull out the exponents off to the side, because if it's anything more than to the second power, it's going to be a lot of work that you're going to be showing. Let's go ahead and do that. 3 times 3 is 9. So our answer is going to be 9 minus 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. So our answer to that problem is 5. And that's a little bit of a stunted triangle. But you get the picture. For this last problem, it's going to require a lot of work. I'm actually going to erase Pemdas and we'll write it back on there when I know that I have room. So our last problem is going to be 9 minus excellent, and we can put Pemdas over on the side here. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to circle the 2 steps that go together. Now, here's what's important to know. When we have parentheses, you don't start from the beginning and work your way through. You're actually going to start from the inside parentheses first. So this 6 minus 5 is, you can complete everything in there without having to look further. So that's what we're going to do first. So we're going to do 6 minus 5 is 1. Now we're going to copy down everything else. And now we're going to go on to our next step. Our next step, we have 2 sets of parentheses. We're going to start over in the first set because that's what comes up first. And now we're going to solve the inside of this parentheses just like it's a regular Pemdas problem. So parentheses exponent multiply or divide comes first. So we're not going to do the subtraction. We're going to do the multiplication first. 1 times 8 is 8. Now we're going to copy everything else down. And now that that's taken care of, now we can take care of the 9 minus 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. And with this exponent, I'm actually going to encourage you to keep the parentheses, because if you have a negative number, that's going to be important for the exponent. But that's something that we get into at a later point. If you forget the parentheses right now in 6th grade or even 5th grade, your life will not be over. I could do 1 to the 2nd power, but I'm not on exponents yet. I'm still on parentheses. So I'm going to go over here to the 7 minus 4 divided by 1, and I'm going to do my first step in there. My first step is not subtraction, but it's division, because division comes before subtraction. 4 divided by 1 is 4. 1 to the 2nd power times 7, the quantity of 7 minus 4. We're going to solve what is 7 minus 4. Well, that's 3. Now we're done with all our parentheses. Now that we're done with our parentheses, let's try to get the, yeah, we're not going to get the whole problem in there until the end. Now that we're done with all the parentheses, we're going to do exponents. Now, this says the quantity of 1 to the second power. Because there's no negative sign, that just means that everything in here is going to be multiplied by itself. So let's take this over here, and that says 1 times 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So we're going to be done with this and just have it 1 times 3. 1 times 3, well, you can figure that out. That is 3. And that answer, we have the big triangle, and this would actually end up being the tip of the triangle, for our PEMDAS problem.